He's been an award-winning media personality and producer. As a speaker, he's empowered over 1 million people from the stage. Now one of the leading business coaches and brand experts is taking over the world of on-demand audio. It's the Business Bully Podcast. Now here's the business bully himself, Dave Anderson.
Hey, what's up, people? It's yours truly, Dave Anderson. Hope all is well with you. On this edition of the Business Bully Podcast, what I think is very cool is I was able to sit down with master internet millionaire marketer Marquel Russell, who has an amazing story to tell about how he got from dealing drugs to becoming one of the biggest online internet marketers and coach savants there is. This guy has so many amazing jewels to drop on you as to how to get to a 7-figure, 6-figure lifestyle just by utilizing the knowledge that you already have. So make sure that you take notes and get ready for an amazing conversation. It's me and him on the phone. You're going to be a fly on the wall. Make sure you check it out, man. Appreciate you. And as always, if you want to get down with me, you know what to do. bit.ly/bully call. Here we go. Uninterrupted, uncut, right here on the Business Bully Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I promised you, the man I consider the bad boy of internet marketers, Marquel Russell, is an amazing individual. He helps businesses, small, medium, and large, grow their presence, get clear on their offers, and make millions. And I am so honored to have him on the show. Marquel, what's up, brother?
What's going on, bro? I'm blessed to be here, man. How you feeling this morning?
Man, I feel with both of these hands, and both of these hands is feeling good right now.
Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff.
Yeah, man. So tell everybody, because I think you have one of the most interesting stories when it comes to how you got started. Tell everybody, where you're from, how you got started in the business, and, where you are today.
Yeah, man. So I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm actually here in Atlanta right now in my office. I just literally sent my kids off to school, so it's pretty cool. It's a blessing to be able to do that. My abridged backstory. So I grew up, my mom raised me and my two sisters by herself. I grew up in a drug-infested environment. So where I grew up, everybody either sold drugs, did drugs, or worked a job. And they didn't live the life that I wanted at that time. So when I was growing up, the ideal job, all my friends, I would say, but some of my friends, they wanted to grow up and they wanted to get a job working for the city. So if people who don't know what working for the city is, that's those people in the neon jackets that you see when you're riding down in Atlanta when it's traffic nonstop and you're like, what's going on? And they're working on the street. Those are the guys who are working for the city. And I'm like, that's not the job I want to have for my life growing up. So my uncles and so forth, a lot of them, when we used to ask for like, hey, can we get $1 or something to go to the candy lane, they used to always say I'm broke. And I could never figure out how someone could work all week as an adult, and then when payday come, they always be broke. I could never figure that out as a young man, because my cousins, they were having money. But so I found out that they was actually selling drugs. So long story short, I found myself in the street because I always wanted to get money. Even when I was young, I wanted a better situation. So I jumped out in the street, started selling drugs at a young age. And actually dropped out of high school in 10th grade. So I have a ninth grade education and kind of just went full-time in the streets because I didn't see how Algebra 2 and all those different things were going to make sense for me and my goals that I had for my life. So I was like, this is kind of a waste of time. So I had started driving and stuff like that. So I was like, hey, you know what? It's just a waste of my time being here. So I went to the streets full-time. One thing led to another. Started getting locked up, going back and forth to jail. Had my first son when I was 19. And I found myself at a turning point at that point. I was in jail, and then my son was born. So some interesting things happened when I turned 19. I turned 19 in jail, and also my first son was born. So at that point, I was like, man, I got to do something different in order for me. Because when I grew up, my dad wasn't in my life. So I was like, okay, if I'm being in my son's life, I got to do something different. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try this job thing out. So I got out. I was like, I'm going to get me 2 jobs. I like to have a lot of money. I know one job ain't going to get it, so I'm going to get me 2 jobs. So I ended up getting a job working at Petro on Bankhead, where we was changing oil and tires on these big 18-wheelers. And one day I was looking at the price list, and I saw that every hour they made $300 off the work that I did, and I was getting paid $8 an hour. So I was like, man, where I'm from, that's called pimping, man. I'm out of here. I can find $8 an hour. I can find $8 an hour sitting around the neighborhood. So I went back to the streets, what I knew best, but I had a slightly different shift. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take my leadership abilities and my creativity and my entrepreneurship genes, and I'm going to start an entertainment company. Because I grew up on guys like Master P, Jay Prince, all those different guys. And these guys all started labels, and they got it out of the mud, like kind of where I came from. So I started an entertainment company, gathered some guys who rapped and did beats, and I created my own thing. So I started doing some management and stuff like that. And one day a buddy of mine hit me up and was like, hey, my cousin just took over management at the strip club, and he's looking for a guy to manage some nights there. And I was like, well, I didn't know anything about club promotion. He should just always see me in the street, see me in the club. And I guess he assumed that I knew how to do club promotions. So me being the opportunity that I was like, bet, I'm in. I'll take it. And I'll just learn the game as I go, just like I learned the music industry. So I went in full throttle with the club promotion. It started going well. And while I was hanging in the club one night, a buddy of mine, he was actually having a mixtape release party. He called me up and told me to come through. And I told him I was going to come through, but I was actually on the way home because, I had been in the hood all day, running around all day. And I was like, I'm actually going to go to the house. But, for some reason, I would say God had a different plan. So I ended up in the club at this album release party. So I'm in the club hanging out, drinking, we kicking it or whatever. And a dude walks up to me and pitches me, tells me, hey man, he knew my face. I knew his face kinda, but he thought I was somebody else. So he came to me and was like, hey bro, we just got involved in this thing, man. Every time somebody pay their cell phone bill, we get paid. He was like, how many people you know with a cell phone? And I was like, well, everybody I know got a cell phone. And he was like, well, what if you got paid every time they paid their bill? And I was like, well, that'd be pretty cool. And he was like, well, my mentor gonna be in town this week. He's showing people how to get on, making money, blah, 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 blah. He was a millionaire. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, I'm getting to meet a legitimate millionaire who's not a rapper or a street cat. I'm there. So I went to the meeting and they had this presentation. Everybody was in nice suits and nice cars outside. I'm like, okay, this is a different environment than I'm used to. And everybody was all positive and all that, So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So then it was like, hey man, we got this new technology. All you got to do is get two people and they'll get two people and they'll get two people. And before you know it, you're making millions of dollars, sipping pina coladas on the beaches of the world, driving fancy cars that the company paid for. And I was like, I'm in. It's only $500 to get started. So I'm like, bet, we spend that in the club. So I'm like, bet, I'm in. So I joined. Long story short, it definitely wasn't easy as they said it was going to be. And I was like, I got a big network. So I'm a club promoter. I'm in the streets. I got a network. Everybody's going to come on. I'm going to kill this. But everybody told me, man, it's a pyramid scheme. What you done got yourself into, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, what's a pyramid scheme, right? So, long story short, I hit my mom up and was like, what you think about this? 'Cause my mom always been a hustler. So I'm like, if there's some schemes behind this, she'll know. So I hit my mom up, was like, hey, check this out. Let me know your thoughts. Then she hit me back and was like, hey, if you put some effort into it, it can work. So I was like, okay, cool. Somebody, gave me a little belief in it. But still things weren't going my way. So I was like, you know what? I think they got me. They can keep the 500. I can get that back. No big deal. But these guys were relentless. They would still hit me up like, hey man, let me help you, man. I'm like, why are these dudes wanting to help me? I was sending them to the voicemail and everything. So I'm like, man, I never seen brothers who legitimately wanted to help me, who cared about me being successful. So it just seemed awkward to me, and it seemed like something was behind it. Because where I'm from, that's just not normal. So I said, you know what? Okay, let me see what these boys talking about. So he invited me to a conference. I went to the conference and I saw all these other black people in there, winning at a high level. And I'm like, man, they could have got me, but there ain't no way they could have tricked all these people. So something happened at this event. I'm not sure what happened, but I came out of the event and I was on fire. And I started having some success. I started ranking up, and I started walking the stages with these people with sharp suits. I'm in there with the polo on and shorts and cargos, and I'm having success. But it plateaued, right? So my mentor was like, "Hey, bro, we got to go get you some suits, man, because you got to start stepping up. You're winning now." So I'm like, I went and got my first 2 for $99 suit at DNK, right? So I got my first 2 suits. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm digging this. But it started plateauing. And I ran out of people to talk to. So I was like, what do I do now? So then I was introduced to online marketing, how to use the internet to build a network marketing business. And then fast forward, I really got good at that. I spent obscene amounts of money trying to figure this online stuff out. Finally started learning some stuff, started building some businesses in network marketing, became one of the top recruiters in my last company out of 50,000 people. And just started crushing it. A lot of people started reaching out, asking me what I was doing, started paying me a lot of money to teach them. People started bringing me out to train at their events and the whole 9 yards. And I found out that I had this passion for teaching and training and coaching. And I used to have a huge fear of public speaking. I mean, I'm the guy who didn't even want to do a presentation in school, would take an F. But long story short, I got over that fear of public speaking. I found out it was just a limiting belief. I found out I had a passion for coaching and training. And I really got good at helping people generate leads and clients and customers for their business using the internet. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go all in with this thing versus doing the network marketing. Let me go all in on just my own business, something I actually own, asset, which is my own coaching and training company. And that kind of brings me, full circle where I am today, helping people coaching, training, traveling the world, helping people build their businesses. I'm specifically working with coaches and consultants, helping them package up their knowledge and expertise, charge a premium price for it, and put automated systems in place to attract their ideal clients, man. And we're just having a whole lot of fun with it. And I'm really just living the life of my dreams right now, bro. So that's my abridged version of the story, man. Hopefully that wasn't too long, man. And, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
First of all, you can't go too long. This is my goddamn show. Second of all, let me tell you something, bro. I don't think you realize how impactful me shutting my mouth and allowing you to rock out like that is to the audience. Because here's what I know you run into this as a coach. I know I run into this as a coach. There's always people talking about, well, I can't get it done because blah, 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 and you don't understand my story and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay, we don't understand your story, but my man got locked up, had his 19th birthday in the slammer, and still is out here cashing these checks and snapping these necks. So there has to be something bigger than your excuses, and there has to be something bigger than your story out here that can motivate you to get to the next level. So I feel like it's important to let people understand that, you weren't born, in Cobb County. You didn't have a nice little happy upbringing with a picket fence or some shit. Because sometimes people look at the end result and think that that's how it's always been.
Right.
So it's important. It's very important for people to understand. Now, what do you think one of the biggest mistakes that coaches and consultants make when you get to them?
Man, so it's two. So number one is that they drastically undercharge for what they offer. So they want to charge. So most people charge $100 an hour or whatever, some other ridiculous thing. So they drastically undercharge. So I immediately help my clients start charging anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. I insist that they charge a minimum of $3,000 to $10,000 for their particular program, not just like a one-off coaching session. Because the reality is you can't really transform somebody's entire life in a one-off program, from what I found. So that's number one. They drastically undercharge. Number two, they don't know how to clearly, basically, it's like, they don't know how to clearly tell people what they do, the outcome they provide. So a lot of people will say, and I did a podcast episode about this the other day, how to command $3,000 plus for your products, for your coaching program and services. Because here's the thing, most people, let's say somebody's a business coach, or they're a business consultant, or a life coach. They're at a networking event, and they say, well, what do you do? And they say, well, I'm a business coach. And now they're like, okay. That doesn't mean anything to nobody, right? But if they say, well, I help coaches and consultants attract clients that have paid them $3,000 or $10,000, and I help them automate the entire process and help them get amazing results for their clients. Who would you be most interested in? That person or the person who just said, I'm a business coach? Or if you speak to somebody who says, exactly, or if you speak to somebody who says, I'm a personal trainer, and you're like, okay. But if you speak to somebody who say, I help women lose 40 pounds or more so they can get back in those jeans they used to wear in high school, this is a completely different conversation there. You see what I'm saying? So most people don't speak to the outcome. They talk more about like all their certifications and all this different type of stuff versus talking about the outcome. And that's the biggest thing. And I think that's the biggest reason they don't charge what they are worth, because they don't even realize how much they're worth, because they don't even know how to say it out their mouths, like the outcome that they provide. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. Okay. So let me go ahead and be an asshole and play devil's advocate, Marquel. Let's sit around and say what I hear a lot of my clients say. Well, I can't find the people who will pay that much. People are always crying broke. How do you find the people who are going to pay what I'm worth?
Great question. So, number one, the reason people can't find people who are willing to pay that much is because they don't believe they can charge that much. Right? So it's like this. The reason, okay, so you hear women, so I won't even say women. Now you hear brothers say, hey man, it ain't no good women out here. Well, the reason you feel like there ain't no good women out here because you think it ain't no good women out here. So you're going to attract the ones who are going to, so your subconscious mind is going to going to help you make that reality a reality for you. You see what I'm saying? That's just how it works. So if a sister always saying, man, ain't no good brothers out here, her subconscious mind is going to go to work to make that belief hold true. That's just how it works. So they're going to attract more brothers who ain't good for them. So just like in business, if you believe that it's not people out there who's going to pay you those prices, you're going to attract more broke people. And then if you don't know how to position your offer in a way that shows somebody outcome, of course they're not going to pay you. So if you're just saying, I'm a business coach, you should pay me $10,000, that doesn't mean anything. But if you tell somebody, hey, I'm going to show you how to add an extra $10,000 a month to your income, now you're like, okay. Or if I'm going to show you how to, get ripped abs, increase your confidence so you can actually make more in your job and have, better performance with your wife versus saying I'm a personal trainer, it's completely different. You see what I'm saying? So most people say, I don't know how to attract those people simply because that's just a belief they have. And they just continuously, they're going to basically manifest that belief. So that's the biggest thing. People just kind of hinder themselves because they're like, well, I got all these certifications, but I can't attract the people who will pay me for that. Well, I have some certifications, but I don't even talk about none of my certifications in my marketing because people don't care about my certifications. They only care about if I can get you results.
Well, I always say results, bitch. The rest of that really doesn't matter. Now, let me ask you this. So let's say they switch their mind, and say, hey, I definitely want to attract the people who can pay me $3 to $10 grand. They're not going to just sit on the edge of their bed and meditate like they're Russell Simmons, and these people are going to magically come to them. How do they position themselves with their advertising to get those people? Because it's still broke people. It's broke people who call me, wanting to do a discovery call. And I'm like, no.
Great question. So what most people do wrong is you always see like lawyers, you see a lot of consultants all do the same exact thing. They're marketing a free consultation. So all their marketing is about a free consultation, right? Free consultation. Hey, go here to get a free consultation. Well, so basically what you're telling somebody is they should carve out 45 minutes to 60 minutes of their life to have a conversation with you, and they don't even know how you're going to provide them any value. Why should they do that? So the way you do that, the more effective way to do that is you give people value in advance. You give them results in advance. So for example, let's say you're a personal trainer or you're a wellness coach or whatever, and you want to attract clients. What you can do is you can do let's say you do a free video or a free podcast like this, or you can do a free video on Facebook or live or something, and you're teaching people a smoothie recipe, or you're teaching them just some kind of fitness stuff, what you should not eat or whatever. And then you say, hey, go to getfitfast.com or click the link and get access to my meal plan that I personally use to lose 30 pounds in 6 months. It's going to show you exactly what I ate, when I ate it, how I prepared it, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. Now they're going to go there and they're going to get access to it for free. You just gave them something for free of value that they can consume. And then when they opt in or when they go through that material, you say, hey, this is my plan, but what I found from working with so many clients is that it's not cookie cutter when it comes to fitness. Everything is customized based on your body shape, your goals, things of that nature. So what I'm willing to do for you is actually offer you a 100% complimentary strategy session so I can show you how to put into action what you just went through. Because now you went through that information, so you're probably like, okay, what's my first step? How do I customize this to me? I don't have enough time to do this. How can I make it with my time, my family, and all different type of stuff in my current lifestyle? How do I put it all together? And that's probably all the thoughts that's going on in your head right now. So what we can do is you and I, we can hop on the phone, and I'll help you customize a plan to put this in place and show you how this works for you. All you got to do is click the button right now below this video, below this audio, whatever, on this page, or go here, schedule a call, answer a couple questions, and I'll hop on the phone with you in the next 48 hours and help you put this all in place. So basically, I gave them some value in the form of video, audio, PDF download, webinar, whatever I want to give them. And then I gave them an opportunity to schedule a call with me because now they know me a little bit more. They know my story. They know what I've gone through. I've given them something in advance. Now they're more apt to have a conversation with me versus me just trying to hammer a discovery call down the throat from the beginning and they don't even know who I am. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. All right. So you give them something of value. You give them a webinar, PDF download, audio, whatever the case may be. Let them be a fly on the wall for a minute. And then you get on the phone with them and you're helping them customize their plan. So then the logical person on the phone, and neither of us, are linear smart people. We're abstract smart. The logical person is going to say, okay, well, if you've given them something for free, and then you turn around and get on the phone and give them exactly what they need as far as customizing their plan for it to fit them, then what do they need to pay you for?
I knew you were going to ask me that because that's a great question as well. So here's the thing. So here's how that strategy. So we call these breakthrough strategy sessions. So once they go through the material. So for example, I use our business model for example. So they'll see one of our ads. They'll register for an automated webinar. They watch our webinar. It's about 45 minutes or so. They watch the webinar and then they schedule a call. So I think right now about 13% or so, if I'm not mistaken, I actually got my numbers right here in front of me, matter of fact. So I think right now about 15% of the people who go to that webinar actually schedule a call, which is great because I ideally want to get about 10% to schedule a call. So right now about 15% because our webinar and our whole system is filtering all the people who aren't really serious anyway, who just people who are just, the freebie seekers. So I let them know, hey, schedule a call with me. I'm going to help you put together this plan. And then if you're a good fit, I'll invite you to the program. We're not cheap, right? But we're better than everybody else and we get results. In a nutshell, that's what I say. Period. Right? So I let them know, hey, look, it's not going to be cheap, but I help you get results. If you're looking for cheap options, go to Walmart, right? And this ain't going to be a good fit. But so when I get on the phone with them, a strategy session is like this. On this strategy session, you're not even on this call teaching. Your position on this call is that of a doctor. So you create what we call a doctor frame. So on this call, when you come on the phone like, hey, what's up, Dave, man? What's going on, man? I see you up in Philly, man. You originally from Philly? And you're like, well, yeah, cool. And I'm like, man, how's those cheesesteaks? Are they really as good as people say they are? Or is it just hype? Oh, man, they really as good as they say they are. I mean, what's different? I mean, I think it's the water that we use. Okay, cool, good stuff. And I got to get me one of those cheesesteaks for sure, man. So when I come in town, I'm going to hit you up so we can have a cheesesteak. Cool? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, bet. So let's go ahead and jump into so I just created some rapport. And now I'm like, cool, let's go ahead and get into the call. Is that cool with you? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, bet. Yeah. So here's the deal. Here's how these calls go. I'm going to ask you a few questions, see exactly where you are. And then by the end of the call, if I think it's a good fit, I'll tell you about what we do, how we do it, and I'll talk to you about how we'll allow you to join the program. If I feel you're a good fit, I'll invite you into the program. And then at that point, you can decide if you want to move forward or not. Is that cool with you? And then he's like, yeah. And then I said, okay, great. So what motivated you to actually take some time out of your day to schedule a call with me? So now he's selling me on why he's on the phone with me. Oh, man, well, I see that you're amazing. I see that you're authentic, man. I'm just stuck right now. This is what's going on in my life, blah, 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 blah. And I'm taking notes the whole time. So on this call, it's 3 phases after that rapport part. You're seeing where they are. So you ask them a series of questions. Where you are, what's going on, what's not working in your business right now, or what's not working in your relationship if you're a relationship coach, or what's not working if you're in your fitness if you're a fitness guy. Just kind of seeing where they are. And then you say, where are they looking to go? Right? So a good question to ask, this is a question that anybody can ask, and it's called the Dan Sullivan question. So it's basically, so if you say, okay, Dave, if you and I was having this conversation 12 months from now, as a result of this call, and we were to look back over those 12 months, what has to have happened, both personally and professionally, for you to feel really happy with your progress? So now they're telling you exactly what they want life to look like over the next 12 months. So now you're writing all these things down. So now you're clear on where they are, what they're struggling with, what their pain points are, and you're clear on where they want to go, what the desires, what's the aspirations. So now you created this gap, right? And now at the end of the call, you're like, all right, Dave, so here's what I hear you saying. You hear. Here's what you're struggling with. You don't feel like the man you want to be because you're not able to provide like you want financially. You're not able to help your mom who's, going through, blah, 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 blah. You're not able to help her how you want. and you're not able to do this for your kids. You always got to tell them that you can't afford it, and you got to do this and blah, 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 blah. And you want to fix that because you don't want them to have to go down the same path you went, and you want to be able to do this, and these are the things that you're struggling when you're missing. Does that sound about right? And now they're like, yeah, man, you nailed it. That's exactly what it is. You actually said it better than I did. And now you're like, okay, great. Mm-hmm. Now, at this point, if you know that they're a good fit, you say, okay, great. All right, here's the deal, Dave. I'm 100% confident I can help you make all these things happen. Would you like me to tell you how we can help you do it? And now he's like, absolutely. So now he's basically saying, sell me. You see what I'm saying? So now you're not going into a hard sales thing. You're just presenting your offer. Okay, great. Here's how the program works. Here's how it will look for us to work together. You know, it's 3 pillars. Pillar number 1, pillar number 2 is pillar number 3. That's pretty much all I have. You know, what do you think? What questions you got? And now you're just waiting for them to ask you how much it costs. Right? You're not even going into the price. You break down the offer.
Right.
You position it based on everything they told you they need and they want and they're struggling with. And now they say, now you're quiet. You're waiting for them to say, well, how much is it? And now you're like, well, here's how the program works. Here's the price. Blah, blah, blah. And then you do the, the value stacking and so forth. And then chunk it up, chunk it down. Boom. Here's the offer. Would you like to do, 1 pay or 2 pay? And now you just collect the information. So to answer your question, that was my long answer. To answer your question, from that piece of value content you give them at front, on the strategy call isn't to teach more. The strategy call is really an enrollment call. But you're asking them a whole bunch of questions, and by you asking these questions, they're really getting value because you're helping them get a lot of clarity from the questions you're asking. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're getting all the value because now they're getting so much clarity because you're asking them questions nobody else has ever asked them, and you're actually listening. So they're getting a ton of value just from that.
Wow, that's sick.
And now you're like, here's the plan. Now you're like, here's the plan, right? So at the end, you're like, here's the plan. Step number 1, we would do this. Step number 2, we would do this. Step number 3, we would do this. Would you like me to help you with this? And they're like, yeah. Okay, great. Here's how it will look. You see what I'm saying? So you gave them the plan.
Right.
Right? In a big picture type of thing. You asked them all these questions. And then you said, yeah, I can definitely help you with this. You want us to? You're like, yeah, okay, cool. Here's what that would look like. And now they're like, okay, great. How much does it cost?
Wow. So, no, I mean, that's dope. Like, it really makes a lot of sense. So, when you're doing this, like, when someone is on Facebook, because you talk about a lot of different types of people. You're talking about people who are business coaches, life coaches, professionals, personal trainers. Like, do you advertise for, like, one particular type of person, or do you just have several different, key indicators that you advertise for and create several campaigns all leading towards the same webinar?
Great question. So basically, for me, I always tell people, so here's my formula. I call this the rule of 1. So anybody who's listening right now who want to make $1 million over the next year, it's a simple formula. I hope you listen. I hope you're writing this down. I call it the rule of 1. Number 1 is 5. It's like 5 parts, 5 to 6 parts of it. Number 1 is you want to pick one target market. So one target market. I'm gonna give everybody a second to write that down. So one target market. Okay. Then you got one target market. So you want to pick one specific market that you understand, that you know, and that you love. One specific target market that you know, that you understand, that you love. And then you ask yourself, do I like them? Can I help them? And can they pay? So one target market. For me right now, that's coaches. People who want to either start or grow coaching business.
Right.
So that's one target market. Then you have one offer. So one premium price offer that you can look your prospect in the eye and say, this thing will help you get the results you're after. One offer. Some people they think they got to have all these offers, especially in the online world. All these gurus say you got to have all these different offers. Why you got to have all these different offers and your $7 offer isn't really going to get people the outcome they want? Don't sell me the $7 thing. Don't sell me the $97 thing if you know that ain't the complete package. Go ahead and sell me the $5,000 thing. If I ain't got it, let me figure out how to come up with it. But don't sit here and penny pinch me. I think consumers are just smarter than that. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I come to your website and you telling me you got this long, elaborate sales page, and at the end you telling me it's only $4.95. I'm like, wait a minute.
Get out of here.
You know what I'm saying? Like, consumers are just smarter. You like, all right, well, what's the upsell? Then what's the upsell after that? Then people just leave the page because they know, like, come on, man. But if you're like, hey, look, this ain't cheap. You know, you actually got to apply to speak to me to even see if I'm going to sell it to you. Now you got a completely different positioning. Like I tell my clients, look, well, I don't want you to be the Walmart. I want you to be the Louis Vuitton of your market. So one premium price offer that you can look your prospect in and say, I know I can help you with these results. So one target market, one offer. And I call it a Godfather offer, an offer they can't refuse. And then number 3 is one conversion tool. So a conversion tool could be strategy sessions, which is over the phone. It can be a webinar. You sell on a webinar, live events. Some people do live events and get people there and sell them a $10,000, $25,000 thing. We see it all the time. And these conversion tool is designed to turn your prospect into a client. So one conversion tool. Right now, ours is strategy calls. Get people on the call, and we take them through that formula that we just talked about. Number 4 is one traffic source. Again, all these online gurus would tell you that you got to learn all these different traffic strategies. With me, I say pick one paid strategy that you're going to master, and then you supplement your paid strategy with some kind of content. So for me, we do Facebook ads, and then we have a podcast as well. So I do podcasts. I like creating content, so I enjoy content. Podcast, one of our main thing, videos and stuff like that. So you got one paid thing, and then you can use your video, your content to help further warm up those clients that didn't convert yet. So one traffic source, I would say pick one traffic source that you can scale. So this like paid traffic. You can really scale paid traffic. You can't really scale content as much because you only can create so much content obviously at one time. But you can scale paid traffic all day long. So one paid traffic source that you can scale in a way that gets you all the leads you need on a consistent, predictable basis. So one target market, one premium price offer, one conversion tool, one traffic source, and give yourself 1 year. So if you work this for 1 year, you sharpen it, you polish it, get the results you're after. That way you can you can build a killer business, and really building a killer business is not really adding too much. It's really about, pruning stuff, cutting off stuff, making it simple. And I call this, I tell my clients all the time, we're making business simple again, right? We're making business simple again. And when you do that, every day you focus on one target market, one offer, one conversion tool, one traffic source, and you give yourself 1 year. That's how you build $1 million business. So number 6 is 1 million. So 1 year, $1 million, you focus on just that. Because if you got a $5,000 offer, all you got to do is sell 200 of those for the entire year. You just made $1 million in revenue. And that was all you focused on. You see what I'm saying?
That makes sense. All right, so there's still some asshole listening to this saying you're making it sound too good to be true. It can't be that easy. Talk about your own results.
Man, so it's like, so here's the thing. So I'll actually talk about, because I'm the guy being interviewed, right? So sometimes when people see the guy who's being interviewed, yeah, he can do it. So I'll give you an example who weren't my own results. And right off the top of my head, I have a client named Sharon. So Sharon came to me. She had just got laid off from her job in corporate America. She didn't want to go back to her job, right? Because everything that was going on. And she wanted to get to $15,000 per month so she can quit her job. So she didn't have to go back to work. And she can actually take her kids to Disney, take her kids to London. And she also wanted to retire her husband at the time because she thought he was on the verge of getting laid off as well. So she joined the coaching program. I helped her start completely from scratch. I walked her through this exact process. By month 4, she was at $20,000 a month. Some people may say $20,000 a month, that's a lot of money. But if you have a $5,000 offer, you only got to sell one of those a week. Now you're at $20,000 a month. So by month 4, she was already at $20,000 a month, right? Her best month so far, last time I checked, was a little shy of $52,000 in 1 month. She used to have to work a year and some change to make that. She did that in 1 month so far. Wow. And she's retired her husband. She took her kids to Disney. She took her whole family to London for a month. She retired her mom, and she just moved her entire family out here to Atlanta. So that's what's possible. You see what I'm saying? So if I talk about my results, people are like, yeah, of course he can do it. He's the guy being interviewed. But I want to give you an example of somebody who had minimal business experience, if that, and who did this completely from scratch just by being coachable and just following the process.
Yo, I really feel like you really just gave folks, that work, bro. Like, I feel like you just told folks things that they can actually do for themselves. So,
absolutely,
I'm going to be honest with you. Even I, to a certain extent, and I'm pretty damn good, even I'm scared to death of Facebook advertising. What do you say to somebody who, like, wants to advertise, wants to get their business online, understand it's the best thing for them, but is scared to death of algorithms and target markets and all that good stuff?
So here's the thing, man. So here's the thing. And one of my mentors said this, and it's very funny. So people will go out and spend $2,000 to go to the next hyped up event, right? So they'll buy the ticket for $500 or $1,000. They'll pay for their flight. They'll pay for a hotel. They'll eat and drink and buy courses at the event, right? You know how that whole process works, right?
Absolutely.
But you tell them to spend $1,000 on ads, they're scared. But you tell me you'll spend $2,000 to go to an event. At the end of the day, you've been spent about $2,000. You'll do that, or you'll go buy this new course for $1,000, but you won't go spend $500 on ads. Why? Because it's just the fear, it's just the uncertainty. So what I always tell people is that you start off small anyway. So you can literally start with Facebook ads as little as $5 a day. The more you're willing to spend, of course, the more data you can get. But you can start off as little as $5 a day and start getting some traction. And you literally start getting traffic like fast. Now, the beautiful thing about the model I teach, the premium price model, is that you can really dominate your market. Because while the rest of your competitors are out there fighting to get a $100 customer, you can afford to spend more because every customer is worth way more to you up front, right? So if your upfront value of a customer is $5,000, you can spend $2,500 if you wanted just to get a new client. You see what I'm saying? While most people can't afford to spend that because okay, if you spent $2,500 and you make $5,000, you probably do that all day long because now you can't get that type of return in no other. I know you got Bitcoin, you got all those type of stuff going on right now, but you can't invest $1 and get $4 back in no other investment vehicle within a 30-day period, right? So you got guys like Warren Buffett. You get 20% over a year. You got Carl Icahn. He's doing better even than Russell than Warren Buffett. He's doing like 31% over a year. But I'm talking about you spend $1. Let's say you spend $1,000 on ads, and you make $4,000. That's crazy. That's like what, a 400% return in 30 days. You'll do that all day long. It's kind of like printing money at that point. Even if you just got even if you just doubled your money over a 30-day period, that's amazing. Now you just do that over and over and over again. But to answer your question, you just start off small, and it's never been easier to get in front of your ideal client. So if you're selling a fitness program, you can easily get in front of people who are into fitness. You get in front of people who like P90X, who like Jillian Michaels, who like Sean T. If you're selling business stuff, you get in front of Tony Robbins people or these people. It's never been easier to get in front of your ideal client. And you start off small, and then you just scale as you see it working. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. So what is the biggest mistake you think, even like when you're teaching your clients, that they make while they're with you, that you try to rectify?
The biggest mistake I see people make is overthinking it. They overthink. Some people are just too smart. Some people are just too smart. Like, you can be smart to a fault. So one thing I posted on Facebook yesterday, some people always ask me like, what's my secret and all this different type of stuff. One of my superpowers and secrets to success is I just implement fast. So when I invest in the coaches and they tell me to do something, I'm doing it before we even off the phone good. Right? So I just implement fast and see what happens. I don't overthink. Right? So I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? One of my unfair advantages when I came into this whole legitimate business world, because I told you my backstory. When I came into this world and I got into network marketing and all that, everybody was scared of being told no. People were scared of being told no. People were scared of people quitting their team. People were scared of people telling them it was a pyramid scheme. In the online marketing world, People are scared of losing a couple of dollars on ads. People are scared of people telling them that they're crazy. People are scared of people laughing at their videos or how their voice sounds on audio or how they look on video. They're scared of those type of things. I'm like, man, you don't got to worry about getting shot at. You don't got to worry about getting robbed. You don't got to worry about going to jail. We don't got to worry about getting in a fight in the club. You don't got to worry about none of that stuff. I'm like, the worst thing we got to worry about is your Facebook account getting shut down or somebody saying that you're a scam or somebody leaving a negative comment on your post or somebody quitting or getting that's the worst thing we got to worry about. I'm going to kill this. You see what I'm saying? So like, scared compared to what? Does that make sense? So that was just,
Man,
that was the mindset I had. I'm like, compared to what? Like, having to get shot at, having to ride around with a gun, having to go to my door with a gun or whatever. Like, the worst thing that can happen is what? If you're investing in Facebook ads, what's the worst thing that can happen? The campaign doesn't work. Guess what happens if the campaign don't work? You just turn it off and you just rework it and you launch a new one. It's really that simple. And you only test it about $50 to $100. Now you already know, okay, this campaign bombed. We turned it off. You ain't lost no money because you would have spent that, out to eat. You would spend that at Longhorns in you see what I'm saying? You ain't lost no money. You go to Applebee's and spend that. You just spend it into growing your business. Like what you ain't lost nothing.
Man, the thing I love about you is I'm sorry. The thing that I love about you is not your brilliance. It's not your strategy. It's that you're authentically you to a fault. Like, for people who've never seen Marquel Russell, Marquel got tattoos all up and down his arms. He got gold teeth. He country as hell. He ain't putting on no airs. So, he ain't trying to, he's not trying to pose by the porch on your ass. He's not out here like a Ty Lopez. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not doing any of that fly stuff trying to impress you. He's keeping it 100% funky, man, and you gotta respect that.
So I appreciate that. And it's funny brought that up.
You were saying
I was on a coaching call with my clients the other night, and one of my clients asked me, she was like, "What's the biggest thing you've learned about marketing psychology that has really helped you crush everybody else?" And I was like, "That's a great question. Nobody ever asked me that." And I was like, Now that I think about it, it's one thing. It's authenticity. My authenticity is the one thing about marketing psychology that I think helped me excel everyone else, because people hunger for authenticity. They want to know what's real. They don't want to know, okay, you don't got to be in the sharp. They want to just like, who are you? Are you being authentic? And when I talk to people on the phone, the number one thing that's out of their mouth is, I like you because you're authentic. You seem real. You seem approachable. You seem relatable. You seem like somebody who just figured it out and really like helping other people. And that authenticity, and that's another thing with you, Dave. I mean, you're authentically you. When people go to your Facebook page, you just tell it how it is. You're either going to like me or you're going to leave. It ain't really no big deal, right? And some people are going to hang around just simply because that's the case, right? Even with the current president. I mean, most people hate his guts or whatever the case may be, but you either like him or you love him. But it's like the dude is just off the wall, and I think that people bought into that because he was saying a lot of the stuff that people has been wanting to say forever, but just haven't said, whether you agree or not. You see what I'm saying? Because people hunger for that authenticity. So when people say, okay, this dude misspelled something in his email, they love it. They're like, oh, he isn't as perfect as I thought he is. He is flawed.
Man, I love this, man. I absolutely love this. So, for you, how did you decide that you wanted to help coaches? Like, what was it about coaches? Because, I mean, if we keep it at 100% funky, you went from, grinding and doing what you had to do out in the streets to network marketing to becoming this coach dominator. How did you make that? How did you make that distinguishment? How did you make that decision that coaches was going to be your lane?
Okay, so basically, I started off, when I started like sharing my own information for money, I started helping network marketers generate leads for the network marketing business. So as I did that for a while, and then I just kind of got tired of it because, no disrespect to network marketing, because it really saved my life, but a lot of the people who were in it are people just who aren't really entrepreneurs. They're just looking for something for cheap, and they've been sold into this idea that all you got to do is get two people and it's not sales and all the different type of stuff. So it's people who are not really entrepreneurial thinkers. So I got tired of that, and I started doing online and started teaching people how to start an online business. How to do blogging, how to take your knowledge and expertise and turn it into an online business, that type of thing. And I started attracting a lot of people who just like biz op seekers, looking for something for nothing, just want to kind of do that type of model. So it's actually recently that I really said, you know what, I'm going to just work with coaches because I've really mastered the ability to build a coaching business to six figures and beyond. And I've helped a lot of people do it. I mean, we've done far past that, but just helping other people duplicate the six-figure model. And I'm like, man, let me just share that with more people, because if somebody wants to coach, number one, they enjoy helping people. Or number two, they vibrate at a different level just because of the fact that they think they can help people and they want to coach. So now we can have a bit better conversation, and I can help them get results faster, because once I help them create their offer and all that, or tighten up their offer if they're already a coach, if they're selling $5,000 for the offer, just 2 of those a month, now they got a six-figure business on it, that's $10,000 a month consistently. So now we just scale that. So to answer your question, because I can help them get results faster, and it's somebody who I know I can just enjoy working with. And I found myself teaching it without me really I had already been teaching people how to do it before, without really realizing I was teaching them how to start a coaching business, because I had really mastered the whole process. So it was just kind of coming out, and I was just teaching people that model. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. Now walk us through a typical day for Marquel Russell. What does that look like?
Perfect. So what typical day for me? So I wake up at my alarm clock goes. I get up at 4:30. I do my morning. I have a morning what I call a morning success ritual that I do. Every morning it ain't perfect, so I won't say that. But so right before this call, I was strapping my kids, my 2-year-old and 4-year-old, up in the truck. My wife is on the way to take them to school. Then I come back to the office and I dive in. If it's Monday is coaching day for me. So on Monday I do a 10 a.m. coaching call, and then I do a 7 p.m. coaching call, group coaching call with my clients. And then before that, early in the morning, I send out an email to my list. So this Thursday I'm doing a webinar. So every morning I'm sending out 2 emails a day to promote the webinar. So for me, if I'm doing strategy session calls, I'm doing calls at certain times. We're in the process of hiring right now to bring all other people to do calls, so we're scaling the company right now. So I'm either doing, and I enjoy doing the calls, so I do some calls, and then I look at our ads in the morning, look at our numbers, and I got my marketing assistant who is really taking over the ads, and I'm just giving them strategy and telling them what to do. We're advising each other. We're kind of strategizing together on what we're doing next. So we're looking at our marketing. So it's basically 3 phases. Number 1 is our morning success ritual. Personal development is key. Number 2 is sales, so like call strategy calls. And then 3 is the marketing, looking at our marketing as far as emails, as far as our Facebook ads, what's going on with our numbers, scaling them up or tweaking things and so forth. And then just making sure we're providing a red carpet experience for our clients. So checking my client-only email, checking our Facebook group, making sure my clients are good, and then just continues to do that over and over and over again. So I'm really all about simplicity. And that's really like the 4 main components of my day. And then, of course, the off ramping when we shutting down for the day. So that's pretty much how it works. And that's just Monday through Thursday. Friday, I made a commitment a few years ago that Friday through Sunday, I don't do calls. I don't really do anything, with exception sometimes. But for the most part, I don't like schedule calls or whatever. I got a couple calls this Friday, but other than that, I don't really do anything really. So my business structured day is typically Monday through Thursday.
Now, do you find it harder, because we live in a world where folks don't necessarily, give us, how can I say this, when you're black and you're male, do you think it's harder for you than it would be if you were white and male?
So do I think it's harder for me than if I was white and male?
Yes.
So here's how I answer that question. So I think that it's actually harder for a lot of our people, black people, to accept us, because what I've found is that I've seen people who I've had a conversation with, and I've experienced it. I've seen brothers that I've had a conversation with about coaching, and for whatever reason they didn't move forward, right? But then I'll see them in another colleague's program, a white brother. Now, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's their issue. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times our people have been programmed, however, to think that if they're getting it from a white person, it's somehow better. Or if it's from a black person, it has to be subpar because it's from a black person. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's hard for me because I'm the type of person, I'm gonna do me either way it goes. And I feel like me being a black male is my unfair advantage. So that's one of my advantages, me being a black male, me having my background, me having my experience, me having my goals and my tattoos. That gives me an unfair advantage over everyone else because nobody can figure me out. So when I go to an event to speak and I'm a speaker and I got the polo shirt on and some cargos and some True Religion jeans or whatever and some just Air Force One or Air Max, I'm just in there chilling out. But when they call me to the stage to speak, everybody's like, whoa, who is this dude? And then when I speak and I crush it, and they're like, oh my God. Like my boy Don, he has a big real estate company. He always tells me, bro, he was like, you catch everybody off guard because when you come in the room, they don't expect that. They don't even think you're speaking. Then when you hit the stage and you're really articulate and you know what you're talking about and they know your story, they're like, oh my God, like what just happened? Right? So I think that's my unfair advantage. I don't think it's harder for me because I'm black versus white people. I think a lot of times our people have a hard time just accepting that this is a brother who can help. And then sometimes it is programmed to say, okay, if I'm going to do business, I'm going to spend the money. I'm going to spend it with the white man, right? So, and it's not, and like I said, there's just kind of some black programming. I don't think it's an issue for me or you. I think it's more of an issue of the person. And that's not everybody, but I know there are some people who operate in that level because I've seen it. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that's black people in general.
Absolutely.
I don't want to generalize anybody, but that's just reality for some people. And then you got some people who say, I'm going to do business with you, brother, just because you are black and I see you doing your thing. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It works both ways.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
So let's talk about what this business has meant for your family, what it's meant for you. Like, what is your downtime like? What are your vacations like? Like, I mean, brag a little bit, bro.
Yeah, so for me, this year, one of my goals for this year was to take a trip every quarter with my family. So we're gonna at the end of every quarter, we're gonna do a trip, a family getaway, and then it's gonna be like a review type of trip. I'll review my quarter, and of course it'll be a fun time to get away. So this month we've done Hilton Head, we did Disney World this year. We did Disneyland before. We did Disney World out in Cali. We went down to the Walk of Fame. You know, we did the whole Cali thing because we had a resort right in there in Anaheim, right across from Disney World. So we hit Cali up big time. And then we did Hilton Head, our first one of the year. And then we were supposed to go to Miami to the Florida Keys, but you know the big hurricane hit down there, so it wiped all the Florida Keys out. So we ended up just going to Orlando, and we did Universal and stuff like that for a few days. And then we're actually leaving. So Christmas is next week. After Christmas, like that Thursday or that Friday, I think it's the 29th, we actually leave to go up. We got a resort in Virginia, and we're going to be doing like skiing and all the different types. I ain't never skied, nothing like that. You know, so I'm going to be able to learn how to ski, and we'll be up there we're going to be up there for like a whole week. So it's pretty cool. So we're leaving directly after Christmas. And I was telling my wife, I'm like, what kids have Christmas and then go on vacation for a week? And she was like, well, our kids. So I was like, it's just a blessing to be able to do that. So we did. So we're going on a week. We're going for a week up in Virginia. We're gonna go skiing and all type of cool stuff up there. And yeah, man. So my thing is, I'm big on lifestyle. I'm big on travel. I didn't get to do that type of stuff growing up. I didn't get to fly a plane till I was 25 years old. My 2-year-old and my 4-year-old thinks it's normal to travel and to fly. Right. So like they enjoy flying. They enjoy California. They enjoy doing that type of stuff. I didn't get to experience none of that till I was 25. Like my wife, she always says like this is the life I dreamed of when I was a child because she didn't get to grow up doing that type of stuff, either getting stuff for Christmas or traveling, none of that type of stuff. So just being able to create that lifestyle. And I was talking to my daughter the other day. She's 16, and she was talking about Offset, you know, for the Migos and Cardi B. How Cardi B got Offset a Rolls Royce for his birthday. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And I was like, but I want you to think about this. A Rolls Royce really ain't that much money. I was like, you can go leave. Cause here's the reality. Cardi B is smart enough
Right.
not to go spend $350,000 on a Rolls Royce, first off.
Yeah,
Whatever what people think of, regardless of what people think about it. She ain't gonna drop $350 on a Rolls Royce. Number two, you can go lease a Rolls Royce for $5,000 a month. And my daughter was like, $5,000 a month, you talking like that ain't a lot of money. And I was like, well, it depends on what you call a lot of money. And she was like, see, I can't have this money conversation with you because you're on a whole nother stratosphere. And I was like, exactly. I was like, that's why I'm having this conversation with you so you can look at money different. So when these young niggas come around you, excuse my language for those who are offended by that word, but for these young niggas come around you trying to impress you with money, with this little $1,000 this money phone or whatever, it ain't impressing you because you're like, bro, that ain't no money. You know what I'm saying? They can't impress you with little stuff like that because like this little money that people think it's the money ain't really no money. So just being able to answer your question, just to expose them to that type of thing, have these conversations, travel, and really just exposure is everything. That's what changed my life at 25. Just being exposed to different things, being able to travel, being able to see people who was getting real money, legitimate money, having their way, having the lifestyle they wanted, without having to answer to a boss. The exposure changed everything for me. So just the ability to be able to expose my family, travel when we want to do, not have to conversate about money, how we can't afford things, how we can't do this right now because of this and all that type of stuff. If we want to do it, we can do it. There's nowhere we can't. If we want to just pick up and fly out right now to anywhere in the world, we can do that with a drop of a dime. We don't have to, plan out for it and like that. We can just, we want to go to Dubai today out of the blue. All right, let's do it. Let's budget for it. So that's the blessing of to do that. And, yeah, man, and that's kind of what we've been able to afford to do that. So, we're just getting started. So I'm excited about that. And just options, just really show my kids what's possible because they knew when we didn't have it. They knew when we had the apartment and it was just 2-bedroom and all the kids was in one room, me and my wife was in the other. So they remember that. And now where we are now, it's just a whole nother level.
Nice, man. That's absolutely amazing. So, say that somebody's listening to this, right? And they're, got it one earphone at their job, sitting in their god-awful cubicle, being stuck in the cubicle matrix, and they want to, coach, they want to take what they know because they're getting not even a 3% cost of living increase. How do people reach out to you? How do they get in touch with you? How do they hire you to help them take their dreams and expand their businesses?
I would say, of course, I want to give it some value for free because I'm definitely honored to be here. So what I would suggest is you can go to marquelrussell.com, MarquelRussell.com. So that's marquelrussell.com. And once you get there, if you look on the header, the little tab bar at the top, you will see webinar. You click on webinar. It'll take you through a full-blown step-by-step training, literally walking you through everything I talked about on this training. So really in detail, really showing you exactly how to apply all this stuff. And you're going to literally be able to take what I show in that training and apply it and start getting results. Now, if you want my personal help to help you put it in place, at the end of the webinar, you'll see how you can schedule a call to speak with me or somebody on our team. But you don't necessarily have to do that. You can go through the training and actually apply what I'm going to be sharing with you and start applying it. But again, if you want me to help you walk you through it, then you'll see at the end how to do that. So 100% free. It's really in depth. People blown away why I give it away for free. But I want to help transform more people and really show people how it's really possible to create the life of your dreams. So if you go to marquelrussell.com, click that webinar tab, get access to the training for 100% free. And I got a ton of other free stuff over there as well. Dive in and I'm available. I'm on Facebook, IG. Hit me up. I'm here. I'm a real person. I respond to my messages. I like helping people. I really enjoy what I do. And, just reach out, go to there, get that free training. If you have any questions, hit me up.
Word, man. So you heard me, man. Go to marquelrussell.com, click on that webinar, get the free training. And then if you feel the need to, rock out with this brother, man, make sure that you let him know how you found out about him, man, because it's amazing to be able to sit down with an absolute resource who understands where you're coming from and understands what it is that you're trying to do. So, Marquel Russell, thank you for taking the time, man, for the Business Bully podcast audience, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. I'm blessed and honored to be here, man, and you keep up the great work as well, man.
Thank you, brother.
Want free business and marketing tips from Dave? Text Business Bully to 31996. That's Business Bully to 31996. Standard data and text message rates apply.